Now, some of the lessons that we're going to cover will require you to have a camera in your hand. Not required, but it'll be easier for you. This one does not. This is a simple explanation of what we mean in photography when we talk about an exposure. Now, an exposure is simply an image created either by exposing film to light or exposing a digital camera sensor to light. Now, you will hear the term underexposed, overexposed, correct exposure. Now, those terms are abused, they're misused in photographic communities. The only correct exposure is if the image you've created looks like the image you wanted to create. An overexposure is an image that is too bright in comparison to an image you wanted to make, and an underexposure is an image that's too dark in comparison to the image you wanted to make. You will find in photographic communities that people will often say, as part of their critique, this image is overexposed, this image is underexposed, meaning they think it's too light or they think it's too dark. Now, to say under and overexposed is incorrect unless you know exactly what the person was aiming for. The correct exposure is the exposure you wanted. Now, you will find some people who think a correct exposure means one that covers all the dynamic range. So there is no pure black and there is no pure white, and you've got a shade of everything. Now, there is nothing wrong in an exposure in having pure white, and there's nothing wrong in having pure black if you achieve what you wanted. Now, an image that is on the bright side is often referred to as a high key image, an image that has a lot of white and a lot of highlights in it. And an image that is on the dark side, that has a lot of darks, a lot of shadows, a lot of blacks in it, is often referred to as a low key image. Now, these terms are somewhat interchangeable. There is obviously a lot of confusion sometimes, but essentially an exposure, a high exposure or a low exposure, is how much light you have allowed to hit the sensor to either make the image brighter or darker, depending on your personal requirements and what your artistic vision is. Now, there are three things within the camera that we control to achieve the exposure that we want. They all have different properties, and I'm going to cover them in the next video, which is the exposure triangle.